Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing a cruise reaction video.
Yeah.
Reacting to our first ever cruise.
Very first cruise. There's a lot to react to. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I'm excited to talk about it again. It's been, when we're filming this, it's been a few weeks, maybe even 3 weeks since we've been back from our first ever cruise. For you guys have just seen those vlog videos of our first ever cruise. We went on Royal Caribbean, we were on the Adventure of the Seas, and we went on a 5-night, is it Western, never eat soggy waffles, Western Caribbean cruise to Cozumel and Costa Maya, which are both ports in Mexico, on the eastern side of Mexico. Look at me knowing all my cardinal directions. I couldn't find my room to save my life, but I know where Mexico is. Which some might say it's better to know where Mexico is than where your room is. There were like maybe 2 times where I figured out where our room was.
It's the forward and the aft and the port and the starboard. Like it's
right, because if you're coming from the front of the ship, you know, you would turn a different direction than if you came.
You don't know where you would turn.
No.
So if you're in the forward of the ship, going down, we would have turned left to get to our room, and then turned right to go down. If we were in the rear of the ship, we would have turned right and then turned left to go down the hallway.
None of it means anything to me. I don't think that's right.
That is 100%
And
right.
sometimes we would cross through the library, and sometimes we wouldn't cross through the library. I don't know. But that's alright. That's something, you know, there are signs. So I would have been fine if I had read the signs, but I was always trying to like test myself to see if just like muscle memory I could figure it out, and that never happened. It did like 1 time maybe, and then the other time I read the signs. So it is what it is.
So yeah, so today we've broken up our reactions into good stuff, not so good stuff, notes, just like general notes, and then some things that we think are like must-haves for the show.
Yes, that we either did bring with us or that we didn't, and that we wish we had, for sure.
This is Ptolemy.
Yeah.
She's probably going to be in a lot of our home videos.
Yeah, she's just busy. We moved the couch for this, so it's really exciting. Alright, go ahead. We're on good stuff.
Alright, so the good stuff. I really liked that there was so much to do. I was really worried because it took, like a little backstory, it took like 15 years, because we've been together forever, for Lauren to finally agree to go on a cruise. So
it held out for a very long time.
A very long time. We were really worried mainly that there just wouldn't be enough stuff to do, because Lauren's a multitasker, and we don't want to be stuck on a big metal tube in the middle of the ocean with nothing to do. But we were both pleasantly surprised with how much stuff there was all the time.
And there was like times when we had to like decide between things that we both like really wanted to do, and we had to like pick and choose. I will say maybe the last day at sea felt like there was less stuff to do than the earlier parts of the cruise, but there was always like trivia or games going on like during the day and into the afternoon, and then in the evening it was more game shows, like the headliner show, which they had like 1 of each night, and then like dance parties and stuff like that. And that's not even accounting for like pool and eating and
or the specialty stuff. Like we ended up on this cruise over New Year's, so there was a whole bunch of additional specialty stuff that was going on. That was cool. Like the big dance party and the promenade and stuff.
Right, for New Year's Eve,
Yeah,
counting down.
Yeah. Alright, so we, when we're going into the Imperial Lounge, there's the card room off to the side that no one really, I mean, I think we've seen maybe one video that talks about like the card room and stuff. But there's a big sign out there that we haven't seen in any cruise videos before that's like, you can post your own activity that you want to do to see if anybody else is interested on it. You just put it on a card and you put it on the board, and then in the card room, if people want to do that activity, they'll show up. And I thought that was really inventive.
Yeah, it's a lot. That also feels very old school, which is one of our comments later. But it's a lot of the cards that we saw were for like playing poker, or playing bridge, or like card game kind of stuff. I think there was one on there for like the solo cruisers meet and greet kind of thing, or like hangout session. But it's neat that they provide that,
We didn't even go into the card room.
No.
So
I think Devin just liked the idea of
I liked the idea of it.
even though he didn't participate.
No, because I didn't bring anything to participate with, But
I think in Devin's mind, because this is Devin, like thinking, oh, I could play D&D. Like I could find people that would want to play D&D or play Magic or something like that. That's what he's thinking when he's saying this. So.
You never know.
No, and I'm sure people would, if you had brought a giant suitcase of all your D&D shit or all of your Magic cards, I'm sure somebody would have played with you.
Yeah, I mean, D&D's came out in 1974, so like I'm sure a lot of the older folks on the ships had some experience with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I just think it's cool. The idea, but yes, Lauren is 100%.
That's 100% what he's thinking. Yeah. It's not what it actually was, it's the potential for him to play those games on a cruise ship.
Someday. And then I really liked the amount and variety of like food and drinks and stuff. Pretty much whenever.
Yeah.
I drank a lot of tea.
I think that's something, the cruise ships are known for, right? Is like people always joke, like you go on cruise ships just to eat.
You could make a vacation.
You really could, yeah. There's lots of different options, with Windjammer, the buffet being open like almost the entire day. Yeah, and then there's different restaurants, the little coffee place, Cafe Promenade, ice cream, like...
Cafe Promenade's open until 3 a.m.
Serving little slices of pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely lots of opportunity. It took us a while to figure out where, like, the included, like, tea, coffee, hot cocoa was.
Yeah, it's kind of hidden.
But once we figured out that was actually, like, available to us, then we definitely took advantage of that and did it quite a bit.
Yeah,
and cocoa and the tea.
I think we covered that a little bit in one of our videos.
I'm sure.
Like, this is where it is. This is the water, and you fill up your water bottle and stuff. But it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's
definitely always a good thing about cruise ships is the availability of food.
Yes.
That's what they're known for.
All right, so some of the things that we felt were like not so good.
Yeah.
And this is not going to be universal. So like some people may enjoy this stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
So this is our personal stuff. The casino, like the idea of the casino, great, love it, whatever. We're from Nevada, so we understand casinos. We grew up with them. But casinos on the ship or at least on Adventure of the Sea, was where people could smoke freely. And it was open air into deck 5 and open air down into the other decks.
It's deck 4.
The casino's on deck 4, but yeah, you can get to it from deck 5 and the other decks below that. And
because all the decks are
and
connected.
The cigarette smoke.
Obviously, you can get to it from multiple decks.
The cigarette smoke, it kind of just leached out into...
That's how stairs work.
So every deck from 5 and below is just pervasive.
I disagree. I don't think 5 smelled like anything. 5 is the promenade level. I didn't think it smelled like smoke.
When you get near the entrance, you can start
smelling. Sure, because there's one staircase that goes directly into the casino. That I could see, like if you're standing right at the top of those stairs, maybe. But overall, I don't think 5 smells. 4 definitely, like, so 4 on Adventure of the Seas, the casino is kind of like right in the middle of deck 4. And then on one side you have Boleros, and on the other side you have, what was that one called?
Schooners.
Schooners
so
bar.
It's 2 bars.
Which, great, right?
Yeah.
Especially, it makes sense if you're going into the casino, you're going to take a drink with you. But a lot of the trivia games were held at both of those bars. And so if you get the seats, if you get there kind of late and you get some of the seats that are right by the casino entrance, yeah, you're definitely just breathing in the casino smoke air.
So, which again is fine for people that want to do that stuff, whatever. They just, I think the ship maybe needs to retrofit better air filters and stuff like that into it, or just have like, because there's a lot of the exterior entrances have motion sensor sliding doors that like block out the the sea air and stuff like that, they could put those at the entrance of the casino too, and that would help keep it contained, you know, which, I don't know, it's a really old ship, so it's going to be hard to, like the old casinos, you know, it's going to be hard to get rid of all that stuff unless they got the ship, and they're not going to do that, but
no.
Maybe
and it's just something to note, like that may not be something that you're thinking about, right? And, you know, during COVID times, that wasn't an issue because everybody had to be masked up 24/7. When you were in the casino, people couldn't smoke.
So
it's just different.
If you're sensitive to it, if you don't want to be around it, just be, like Lauren said, just be aware.
Yeah.
So throughout the cruise, like, we weren't really expecting to have people like approach us and be like, hey, do you want to upgrade this, or do you want to buy this thing?
That was really surprising. We'd be sitting down in like one of the bars, or even like Windjammer.
The first day we were there.
There'd be people, you know, employees going around offering to book you reservations for the specialty dining places, to sell you like merchandise. And I definitely wasn't expecting that sort of level of salesmanship, I guess, you know?
Yeah, and, you know, we lived in Vegas for a few years. I mean, we did experience that sort of stuff. We get it, and I don't think it would have bothered me as much as it did. It's just like I felt like we couldn't escape it.
Yes, it was constant. It was definitely constant. And it's different than, like, you get it if you're sitting down at like one of the bars and one of the waiters approaches you and asks you like, oh, what do you want to drink or something, or can I get you something to drink?
That's not what we're talking about.
That's different, right? These are people going around with like little cardboard signs, or like the menus from Izumi or Giovanni's Table or Chops Grill or
the
whatever.
The gold thing, or the Rolex sales.
Well, that's different even. The people walking around always are like the food ones or something like that, the specialty restaurants, and they're trying to get you to make reservations. And then you would have little tables set out everywhere with people standing behind the tables selling stuff, like the Inch of Gold. The spa thing had a table by Windjammer.
Yeah.
And oftentimes those people weren't as pushy as like the people going around with the menus.
Yeah.
And I get it in some regards, especially maybe like the specialty dining places. People may not know. People may book the cruise and have no idea what is available to them on the cruise ship. You know, in some regards, we were kind of like that. We didn't know everything that was available to us first time
We'd done some research, but yeah.
So I get that in some ways they're just trying to promote like, hey, this is an option, you know, like if you want to know more about it. But yeah, like it was just a lot. And it didn't stop happening. You know, It wasn't like just a day one thing. It was an everyday thing.
Yeah. Yeah, after it happened a couple of times, when right after we got on the ship, I thought, well, maybe it's just like they're filling up the reservations for the cruise or whatever, but it was a pretty regular occurrence.
It was every day. It wasn't just the first day. Yeah, because you can almost kind of get it on the first day, you know, when everybody's on board and you're like, you can make reservations for this right now. Like, you don't have to wait until Thursday when you want to eat there, you know, like, you can almost forgive those sort of things. But yeah, is a constant thing.
Right, and it was just, for me personally, it was a little frustrating to like have to keep telling people no. Yeah. And then I just felt bad for the staff on the ship there. Because I'm sure they're just being told to like, get out there and sell stuff.
Yeah, that's just their job.
And I just feel bad.
It's not their fault.
I always feel bad for people in those sorts of sales positions, because they know.
Right.
Yeah, and
100%.
I feel bad.
Yeah. And I don't think, personally, it didn't like take away from my enjoyment of the cruise at all. It is just something, like we said, that we weren't expecting. We didn't know that was part of the cruise ship thing. Also, like I don't know if this is one of the points you make later, like the coming on with announcements of what's happening during the day.
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't something I was expecting either. Like, the cruise director would come on maybe 2 or 3 times a day, kind of in the morning, in the afternoon, and then towards the evening, just telling you what was happening around the ship. But really, she was just reading from like the navigator from the app, right? Because all the same stuff that's on there. That also felt kind of old school.
Yeah. So we do mention that a little
okay.
later. No, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. We can touch on it again in a little bit.
I have more to say on how old school cruise ships are sometimes.
Right. But yeah, so it didn't necessarily detract from our cruise, and it's just something that you should be prepared for, and that's something we now know might be a thing on cruises to be expecting.
I'd be interested to see if it happens on Disney, if it happens on other Royal Caribbean ships that we're on, or is that just this cruise specific because they didn't sell enough reservations, you know, like that'd be interesting to see if it is like that every time. We don't, obviously this is our first cruise, we don't know. But
we're prepared for it regardless.
Yeah.
And then on a little bit of a lighter note, you know, in the big theaters and stuff like that, on the RC ship, they'll sometimes pull down a screen and show a movie and stuff.
Or even on the pool deck.
On the pool deck too. They don't serve, there's nowhere on board to get popcorn for these movies. Which is nuts.
That's nuts to me.
Right?
We had that in one of our vlogs when I wanted to go see Downton Abbey because I wanted to see if there was popcorn.
Right.
No popcorn. I was genuinely disappointed because I know on Disney ships they have popcorn.
They
at their stage shows, at the movie theater, they have popcorn, and I'm really pumped about that. And that seems like such a simple, cheap thing to offer. I'm kind of surprised, and it's something they can upcharge for, like at a movie theater.
Even if they wanted to put like a $3 charge per serving or whatever,
or $5
like
charge.
charge a $5 every time someone grabs one.
Yeah,
it would be super easy. Everyone would do it. Although it was really funny in the Downton Abbey viewing. I think it was just the one.
It was the one person.
Just one person in the middle, the very middle of the theater, just enjoying the heck out of their movie. It was great.
Yeah. So I think that is a missed opportunity.
Total missed opportunity.
They should serve popcorn.
So I mean,
the ship would then smell like popcorn, not smoke.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
Absolutely problem solved.
2 birds, 1 stone. Did it.
All right. So then, just like general notes, what Lauren was touching on earlier is everything about this cruise seemed completely catered to like an old school mentality of like trips and cruises. And
Well, and I don't think that's like Devin's saying, just as like a general note. It's not a bad thing in a way. It's almost like fun. And I think we should combine this note with your other note of how it feels like camp for adults.
Yeah.
In so many ways. Every time the cruise director would come on, this is such a specific reference that nobody will get. Every time the cruise director would come on and like announce what's happening, it reminded me of the one scene in Long Long Trailer, which is such an old reference to make. But when they're in the RV park and they hear like the like announcements of like, you know, Mr. Smith, meet your wife at the front desk, or you know, Mrs. Smith, go get your children from the pool, or whatever. I don't even know what the announcements are, but
just
I can
community announcements.
Yeah, the community announcements at the RV park felt very much like what we were experiencing on the cruise ship. And I don't know.
The whole time, and this is weird because I don't think I actually mentioned it to you. The whole time we were on the ship, I felt like this must be what like our grandparents felt like when they got dressed up to go on a plane.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like this was the height of luxury in 1965. You know?
Yeah.
And it was just, the whole thing was really cool. The ambiance was very old school. It was just a lot of fun. But it's weird to really kind of like, it's hard to encapsulate that feeling.
Yeah.
Because I think we're both on the same page, but it's hard to like convey it unless you're there.
Yeah. But all of the activities and stuff like that, you know, it just feels very old school, but in a fun way.
Yeah.
You know, like in a pleasant way.
Definitely. And then, yeah, like Lauren said, very much like camp for adults.
But again, in a positive way.
Super fun way. Yeah. All right, so the ice show. So Adventure of the Sea has an ice rink and a stage where they have Can't Stop the Rock and then
Invitation to Dance.
Invitation to Dance, and I can't remember what the ice is. It Cool Art Hot Ice? Yeah, okay.
Something like that.
So these are, we found out during one of the Q&As with the
might even be on film.
Yeah, we might have gotten it.
I can't remember.
But it's, oh, and here's another one.
This one's Octavian.
It's actually, those are all built into the ship as the ship is being built. So
I think more so the stage shows and less the ice show. Because they were mentioning the stage shows specifically in that thing.
So more or less, without me going on forever about this, they're built into the ship and they can't like yank it out to easily replace it with another show.
Yeah, so like all of the stage productions, those are going to be the same on any. So if we go on a cruise again on Adventure of the Seas, even if it's going in a different location, like let's say it's now in Norway, it's still probably going to be the same stage shows. Yeah. Because like Devin said, those set pieces, like in Can't Stop the Rock, when they have that big set piece, like that's built into the ship. Yeah. So it wouldn't be as easy for them to remove it. And that's why they move ships. That's it's one of the reasons why they move ships around, so that Adventure of the Seas, if now it's sailing out of Norway or whatever, right, now a different crowd can experience different shows without them having to change the shows.
Right, because they want the people who regularly use just one port to be able to experience everything they have, because they want return customers. So yeah, you wouldn't go on. I mean, I would, but some people wouldn't necessarily go on Adventure of the Sea again and again and again.
Yeah, that's something that I wouldn't want to. I mean, one, because I want to cross off different ships on our little bucket list poster, but also like I wouldn't want to repeat the shows. I would want to see something new.
Right.
What was it? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just saying, because some of them have like full-on Broadway productions.
Yes, that's what I was going to say too. Like, I want to see a Broadway show. That'd be so cool. And the cruise director, in answering that question, mentioned she's only seen like a stage show change one time, when they went from like Chicago to Hairspray or something
like that.
I can't remember now what the specifics was, but yeah, it doesn't change very often, if at all.
Yeah. We thought that in addition to the and this is again ties into the old school feeling of the ship, most of the shops on the promenade level are like super ultra high-end stuff. There's like,
yeah, the shops are very old school, like perfume and jewelry, alcohol, cigarettes,
cigars. There was a whole area for cigars, which feels very old school.
Yeah, and we kind of agree. We've seen Views and Cues make this statement before, like they need like a Hudson News, like you have at an airport.
Just candy, snacks,
books, magazines,
all that stuff. Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah,
that could be a thing.
They need more modern stores. You're fine. You're okay. I don't think she knew that you were there. CVS, like just kind of more general stores. Yeah. I also think, at least on Adventure of the Seas, I was a little disappointed by the logo shop, which is like the Royal Caribbean specific souvenir shop. On the last day, they had like those fun t-shirts, those graphic tees, but otherwise it was kind of a letdown, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It wasn't very big, and there wasn't a lot of diversity in the merchandise, where I feel like Disney, they're going to do that right. Disney does merch well.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a given with Disney.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, so the, I guess pro tip, the baked goods at Cafe Promenade were way better than anything we got at like Windjammers.
Agreed, yeah.
I mean, they were amazing. There was these chocolate croissants that we got.
Oh my God. They were so good. And they were warm.
Yeah.
They were delicious.
Right.
We went there one time for breakfast. It was really good.
Yeah, and they have really good, they just have a lot of really good stuff. And also, Windjammer, the bananas were super, super green. But at Cafe Promenade,
they weren't as green.
They were a little more ripe. So if you're looking for a good banana, you go over there.
Yeah.
And so another pro tip, speaking of like food and stuff, we didn't really get a tutorial on like how to do main dining or really any of that stuff, because as first time cruisers, I don't know, I guess there was this expectation that you kind of just know what you're doing.
Yeah. I also wonder if maybe, because we didn't go to the main dining room until the last night, I wonder if that's something our wait staff would have told us on the first night.
Maybe, I don't know. But when you are done with main dining, you just leave.
Yeah, you just get up and leave, which feels wrong. You feel like you're dining and dashing,
right?
But you've already paid for it. So
yeah, so I mean that's different than how if if you're doing specialty dining, or if there's any opportunity where your C-Pass is being charged for anything,
like alcohol or something like that,
you have to wait to sign for it. So even if you've paid for upfront, like we did for the specialty dining, you still have to wait for the signature to
and
come.
they ask for a tip.
And they ask for an additional tip. Yeah, so that's just the distinction there with food stuff.
Yeah, we were totally confused at the main dining room, like what to do. We kind of waited to see what other people were doing.
We just watched a couple old people just like go. Yeah. And we're like, okay, cool, so this is what we do.
I guess that's what we do. I don't know. But again, maybe it's because we didn't go until the end, and maybe that's something they kind of talked to you about on the first day.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Also, be prepared if you're going to be active on the ship and like be participating in a lot of events and things like that. Be prepared to get a lot of walking in. Adventure of the Seas is not. It's not by any stretch of the imagination the biggest ship in their fleet.
It's pretty little.
It's pretty little. The Voyager classes are pretty small, especially compared to like Oasis classes or like the Icon class.
Look at how little baby that is.
It's a little baby ship.
A little baby ship.
But that being said, with it being one of the smaller ships in the fleet, we walked almost 40 miles in the 5 days we were there. We were tracking it with our various walking apps and stuff like that. So I mean, you move between going up and down decks and back and forth across the ship. It's a lot more than you'd expect. Yeah,
and I think you're definitely going up and down the stairs more than you probably expect. The elevators take forever. It's not worth, in our opinion, it wasn't worth waiting for. Now, obviously, like if you need the elevator for a physical thing, waiting would probably be fine. But
you just be prepared to wait for a little bit.
Especially after shows.
Yes.
Trying to get an elevator after a show.
Well, because the elevator banks are like right outside the forward and the aft show areas, so like it all funnels straight to the elevator banks, and
it's really hard to get one.
Yeah, it just takes forever. Yeah. All right, so now we're gonna talk about the things that we felt were like must-haves for the
trip. Kind of like packing tips and tricks.
Yeah, so some of the stuff we brought, some of the stuff we didn't, but something that was really helpful for inside the stateroom, so we didn't have to like keep our doors open or whatever for airflow, was a USB powered fan. Just a little desk fan that's not very big, not very loud, whatever,
and not illegal to bring.
Yes, right. It's not on an extension cord or whatever, but you can bring it. It's totally fine, and it adds a little airflow to the room.
Yeah, it was nice.
Very needed.
Yeah, and some white noise in a way.
Yes.
The noise was nice. I also had like a little white noise machine that was also really helpful at night.
Yeah.
Just to kind of drown out excess noise. I will say though, like we didn't hear much from inside of our room. Sometimes you can hear that they were giving an announcement over the loudspeaker.
Like in the hallway.
And so you would go open your door just to hear what they were saying. And occasionally you would hear like kids or something in the hallway, but it was pretty quiet. I was surprised, pleasantly surprised at how quiet it was in our room.
I guess when you build everything out of metal, it really insulates every room.
For sure.
Staterooms are surprisingly quiet.
Yeah, at least the one we were in.
We have heard, because we were midship on deck 7 on the starboard side, but we have heard that if you go, the higher up you go, if you end up under like the main deck on top, like under the pool and stuff, it's very noisy. Like you can hear people walking above you, but we didn't experience that. So as you would do for like a lot of trips, even outside of cruising, bringing ibuprofen, acetaminophen, Dramamine for sure.
Yeah.
For this one. I don't feel like we needed it.
No. We took it as a precaution a couple of times, especially the first day, just to make sure we felt fine. But I never felt seasick. There were definitely times in the videos, I think we talked about it, like where you could feel we were moving and you felt like, whoa. But I never felt seasick. Yeah. But everybody's different, so it's better just to pack it just
have it. Yeah, and even like me, I have a pretty sturdy stomach when it comes to boats and stuff. But even I, like you'll have seen in our Hawaii videos that came on just before the cruise videos, there was a day that even I got seasick, which rarely ever happens for me.
When we were snorkeling.
Yeah. Sunscreen is a big one, because especially if you're going into any place that's even like near tropical. There's a lot of sun in the open sea, and so even if it's cold and stuff, or if the weather's not going to be like tropical when on like sea days, there's still a lot of sun beating down on you. So sunscreen, especially if you're going to be hanging out on deck. And then bug spray, which is something we did not plan for at all.
So we should have also packed the itch cream.
Yeah.
Which I think is next on your list there. Bug spray and itch cream. Yeah, I cannot believe how many bug bites we got from our little excursion on Cozumel. Like,
we were outside the bus for like maybe an hour and a half total, and we just got eaten alive at Cozumel.
It was bad.
It was pretty
very
gnarly.
itchy.
Yeah, so I'll go and said when you don't plan accordingly or when the bug spray doesn't work, itch cream, because those little suckers will get you. So we talked about like there's so much to do on the ship and all that stuff, but there also might be times when there isn't something going on that you want to participate in, or like Lauren said, at the end of the ship it kind of like feels like it winds down a little bit.
Yeah.
So for those times, having a quick card game, or we brought on a board game, a Hunt-A-Killer board game, which was solving a mystery on a cruise ship.
Yeah, on a luxury yacht.
Which was a ton of fun, and so that'll help with time.
Yeah, I also think having like the card games, like the easy ones that like fit in your bag, are really good when you're early for events. We saw a lot of people in between trivia, or you know, other events, like sitting down and playing like card games.
Yeah.
And that would have been nice to have. There are times when you're like 15-20 minutes early for an event, and it would have been nice to have like a deck of cards to pull out and play a game to kind of kill time. I mean, we had our phones and stuff, and obviously we can talk or whatever, but having a game to play is kind of nice.
Yeah, well, like I was going to say with the phone thing, like the internet speeds aren't the greatest, and you may opt to not have internet stuff, so you can't just like doom scroll on your phone. So, or it's difficult even if you have the internet package. So, just something to keep you occupied.
Yeah. Or a book. A book could be the same if you're able to like read when it's noisy around you. Crossword puzzle. Yeah. Those kinds of things would also work.
Activity books are always fun.
Hide and seek book or whatever those are called. The search things. What's that? Yeah. The highlights.
Highlights, the search and find.
You could bring those.
So like Lauren was talking about with the fan and the white noise machine earplugs.
Yeah. Well, I can't go anywhere without earplugs. So that's a given for me.
Yeah. I hate earplugs, so I don't necessarily need them. But the fan and the white noise machine were helpful for me. But if you need them, earplugs, yeah. So a variety of clothes. So there's a bunch of different events on ships. I mean, there may be like we had a formal night or dress your best. We had
there's more dress up nights than I was expecting. Yeah, there was formal attire on our first night, which because it was New Year's Eve. Then there was tropical shirt night. There was a 70s night. Too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more than I was expecting. And not that you have to bring like a 70s outfit, right, to every cruise. That might have been unique to ours. But yeah, having a variety, and even just like having a formal outfit if you need it, bringing a sweater in case, you know, air conditioning is on and you get a little chilly, or you're doing a late night deck party and it gets a little cold. Different pairs of shorts, different kinds of shoes. Like, I wish that I had packed more variety in the clothing that I brought.
Like we had jeans, and then
for travel days.
We had some tropical-ish stuff. I had like a Hawaiian shirt, and Lauren had a shirt with flowers on it. But like, that was kind of it as far as what we were prepared for. Yeah. But a sweater's a really good tip too, because like when we were watching Elvis for a few minutes on the deck that one night, it was kind of chilly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So this is something that I didn't think of until after we left the ship. But during on the ship, you're probably going to be passing through different time zones and things like that. But everything stays on ship time. And ship time, I believe, is the port time that you leave, right?
Yeah, it was on this ship.
So it would probably be a good idea to bring like a watch or something analog that you just set to ship time, and then you have it, because your phone may betray you and change to different time zones and stuff, even if you're on airplane mode, because our phone did that.
Yeah.
We don't know how, but it did it. So just having something to refer back to ship time so you don't get lost.
Yeah. Luckily, the app is always in ship time, so you could just open the app And in the top corner will say the ship time. So that's a way to get around it. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt if, you know, you want to stay analog and just have the ability to check the time without opening the app.
Right. And then, you know, there's hand sanitizer, and then a tip that we learned from Views and Cues is to just bring your own soap.
Yeah,
because
like bottle soap.
Bottled soap, yeah, because you know it's not going to mess with your skin or whatever, and the stuff on the ships can be kind of harsh.
Yeah, it's just like the normal hotel soap where you get like the little bar, and sometimes that can be harsh on your skin. And when you're on a cruise ship, like you're using hand sanitizer a lot, you're needing to wash your hands a lot just to stay hygienic. So yeah, like we definitely, it was really nice to have the bottled soap on the ship in our room, so we could, you know, feel good about washing our hands without using the gross bar soap. I just hate the bar soap. It gets gross after a while too, you know. Same with like having Lysol wipes or hand sanitizer wipes, like. And your own hand sanitizer was nice too. Yeah. There's obviously hand sanitizer around.
Everywhere.
But sometimes it's nice to have one just in your bag to be able to grab easily.
Definitely.
We used it a lot.
Yeah. So that's it. That was our first cruise. That was our reaction to it. We loved it. And we're cruise people now.
We have the poster now. Like we have
we're official.
We have to cruise now. We're loyal to Royal in a lot of ways. We're definitely cruise people, and I'm excited. Our next cruise is only, from when we're recording this, only a month away. We're gonna go on a Disney cruise, so it'll be fun maybe after that to do a little comparison video.
Yes, I want to compare and contrast to our reaction to the Disney cruise line. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I know. It's very exciting. It's giving me a lot of fun.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching. We'd love it if you hit the subscribe button. That would help us out greatly, and hitting the like button and all that stuff. Yeah. If you feel up to it.
Follow along if you like cruises and trips and all that stuff. It's not going to be just cruises, as you can, if you're familiar with the channel at all, we've done a bunch of stuff, and we're going to continue to do a bunch of stuff, but cruising every now and again.
Well, this year. This year's very heavy on the cruises.
Yeah.
But
we got to get in 15 years of cruising.
Yeah, we gotta make up for all the time that I made you lose not cruising. Whatever. Bye. See you in the next one.